Hello and welcome to PAMED Talks, a podcast brought to you by the Pennsylvania Medical Society. I am Arvind Cavale. I'm the 176th president of the Pennsylvania Medical Society. Today, I'm glad to be joined by someone who has been instrumental in helping us bring my initiative for supporting independent practice physicians to life. We have Amy Boyd, PAMED's Director of Physician Services. Hello, Amy.
Hello, Dr. Cavale.
How are we doing today?
Good. How about yourself?
I am good. Thanks for asking. So, as all of you may know, that strengthening independent practice in Pennsylvania has been a major priority for me this year. And we have been working hard, and it's only February, but we've been working hard for the last 6 weeks to create real practical support for physicians who wish to remain independent. And today, Amy and I are going to walk through some of the biggest pieces of this work, including Independent Docs in PA, our new statewide directory for independent practice physicians, and of course, the Independent Practice Summit coming up on June 19th this year. So, Amy, thanks for being here again, and I'm excited to dig further into this with you. So, it's an interesting narrative as to why we are doing this, right? So, just yesterday, I read a social media post by one of our fellow physicians, and it went something like this. What do independent physicians and rideshare drivers have in common? And they answered it as both face the same systematic economic exploitation driven by dominant market players and limited bargaining power. I could not have said it any better than that. And so that is really our challenge, and our colleagues who are in independent practice, this is the challenge we face. As you know, I've been in independent practice for almost 27 years in the same location. And the more I think, the more like a dinosaur I feel. And but our patients love us, and our practice has become a very strong community support center for the three counties around Philadelphia, which is Philadelphia, Bucks, and Montgomery counties, and to a certain extent, some of the sister counties across the river counties in New Jersey. So we are a very valuable resource for the community, and yet we have a very hard time just surviving and going into the next year, and year by year we've had the same issues. So that is where I would focus, as to say, why are we in this situation and how can we change this dynamic? And so that's where I come from. And so let's talk about the independentdocspa.com, Amy.
Yeah, so you make really good points. And that's why I feel like both items that we're going to speak about today are going to be huge resources to our independent practices. The first one is independentdocspa.com, which is going to be a directory website. And one of the things that it makes me so excited about this site is something like this does not exist right now. Our independent physicians are looking to bring new patients into their office, gain referrals on their own, and that can be a challenge to do that all yourself as an independent practice. So this directory is going to be available to everybody, the public, physicians, whoever would like to go to the site. Is a very easy site to navigate. You'll be able to input a zip code, a mile radius, select the specialty that you're interested in, and then it'll populate all the independent physicians within that criteria that you put in. So again, I feel like this is going to be something that is brand new to Pennsylvania, and I'm very excited. And I feel like this is going to continue to evolve. We're going to have to start out slow, as with anything, but I'm confident that this is going to be a resource, not just for our independent physicians, but our community, which is such a huge, it's such a huge blessing to know that you have a heart to look out for the community. Patients who aren't even your patients are the ones that you're caring about by doing this. So that's very exciting. I'm excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Right. So the other thing I've learned over the last decade or so is there are people and there are institutions, there are organizations out there who are looking for independent practice physicians. And they don't know we exist and we don't know they exist, right? So this is like ignorance on both sides. And it creates an opportunity for middlemen to occupy the middle space and create divides or create problems where none should exist. So, what type of resources do you think physicians can find on this site going forward?
Right. Yeah. So right now it's strictly going to be a directory for folks and the community, as well as physicians, to find other physicians or physicians for patients to see. Now, as we grow this website, I am looking to expand it into resources. So not just physicians, but independent pharmacies, independent radiology centers, independent trying to think of other opportunities we have. And of course, I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, like physical therapy, occupational
Yes.
therapy, and
Yes.
mental health facilities.
Yes. Thank you.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. We're really looking to expand that into larger resources as it grows.
Yes. So that would be awesome, right? So yeah, physicians should be aware that this is a free benefit for PAMED members, right?
Yes.
So this would also be a nice tool for PAMED to offer non-members as a member benefit, which I think would be something that no other state society offers at this point.
Right. Correct.
Right. So that would be awesome. Right. So another piece was how do we get the physicians sort of involved in this? How do we make them aware of this existence?
Right. So we have a couple ideas. What we are currently doing at this moment is we do have what we call as a jot form or a link on your presidential initiative landing page at PAMED, where independent physicians can complete that, and their information will then be uploaded into the website. The website is still being designed. However, we are at those final stages. We are ready to implement it. Our goal is to make the site live by the beginning of March. And we're hoping to have as many independent physicians on that site when we launch it live so that it does become a good resource. So we're looking to get as many independent physicians on filling out that form ahead of time so that we do have data to be distributed, at the time of the launch.
Would physicians also get to describe the type of services they offer, or is it not available yet?
So what we are allowing, what's available at this moment is they fill out their practice name, their individual name, their contact information of the practice, and also the website of their practice. So then, and the specialty, of course, as well. So if you have a physician, as many independent physicians do, they have multiple specialties that they specialize in. They're able to submit that. They're also able to submit multiple locations. So they're able to link their direct website so that the community is able to click on that and go directly to their landing page or their website to gain more information.
Right. So then you could include the type of services on your website, which would open up and say, okay, I offer stress tests, or I offer ultrasounds, or whatever else that can be. Yeah, that's a good start, I would think. Yeah. So as far as communities are concerned, so what other ways so if someone's watching this podcast, how else can they make use of this website?
So honestly, so what we're going to do with the launch of this is we're also developing clings. So I say clings, and many people look at me funny, but it is a way to post information on in your practice, in your neighborhood, wherever, where it does not disrupt the look of the wall. So it'll cling to the wall, but it'll be posters, it'll be QR codes that will be able to be accessed by the community so that they can directly get into that link and they're able to utilize the resources very quickly. So once a physician signs up to be part of that site, we will be distributing information to them so that they can post it within their office, so to make their patients aware of that. And we're also going to expand this to community centers, to libraries, to get that word out to the community themselves.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Yeah. I think word of mouth does spread quite well. And we could certainly use some directed social media posts to
Yes.
expand knowledge about this. Yeah. So people knowing about this website being available is a big thing as far
Right.
as yeah.
Agreed.
Right. Yeah. So that brings me to the next exciting discussion, which is our first Independent Practice Summit that is
Yes.
scheduled for June 19th.
Yes.
So let's start with that. Like, how did we come up with that, and what's the idea behind it?
So we came up with that idea because of you, Dr. Cavale. You had brought to attention so many various companies that are out there to help our independent practices, different models for independent practices to be able to continue caring for their patients successfully. There was so many resources. We felt we couldn't do it justice by just simply providing information to members. We felt this needed to be a day solely about independent practices and to provide that education in a structured manner.
Yes, that's what my learning has been over the past dozen years, is trying to hang out with people who are complementary to us, not doing the same thing as us. And sometimes in medicine we get tangled up in very narrow, focused discussions, and we fail to see what is available outside. The other part about our profession, sometimes it's very system centric, which means we offer to patients what we have in our toolkit, as opposed to saying, how can we solve people's problems? How can we be healers, rather than saying, okay, this is what I offer and that's how I'm going to do it. Instead of so I've changed my perception talking to a lot of the leaders in the purchasing arena, people, companies who purchase healthcare, right? So we always assume that the insurance companies are the purchasers of healthcare, but they are actually just intermediaries. The real purchasers are companies, employers, as well as their employees, because the employees also contribute through their paychecks towards the premiums and the deductibles and so on and so forth. So if, as physicians, we are not solving their problems, I think we are being less than optimally effective in a lot of ways. Don't you think?
I totally agree with you. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's what is so beneficial to an independent practice. They have that opportunity to hear those different models, to learn those different methods of practicing and be able to adopt those.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So who do you think should be there? Now, what are the type of sessions and conversations do we expect?
So this will be held at the Commonwealth Charter Academy in Harrisburg. This is a full day event. We will have various different companies who are very much interested in expanding independent physicians' practices. So we will have CME opportunity for 2 hours of CME, where we will engage in ethical practices within independent offices, and it's a panel of experts who will be discussing various different things, and it's an interactive panel so that those who are in attendance are able to ask questions and really dive into that conversation. We have in the afternoon, we have it chocked full of businesses who are solely looking to help independent practices. And that ranges from helping them stay compliant with OSHA regulations, helping them make sure that their manuals and their policies and their employees are all properly documented and everything is handled appropriately through HR related items. And I have to tell you, Dr. Cavale, when we introduced this, I did not know how popular this was going to become with businesses. We have been overwhelmed by the response to the point where I'm starting to wonder if we're going to have enough room for all these amazing businesses who want to come. So this is not an event you're going to want to miss. This is really going to be one that is worth your while. It is free for our members. If you are not a member, you can still come. There's a slight fee with that, but we still want you to come. We want you to network with other independent physicians and collaborate, share stories, learn. That's the whole basis of this day.
Yeah. And having the day-long event allows people to mingle, people to get enough time to understand certain concepts that may be foreign to them. Also allows, and this is something that I have also learned, is the other side also needs to learn how physicians operate and how physicians work, how physicians think, and what are the limitations of practice, and where are the shared savings when two people work together, right? So,
Yes.
so I think bringing that community in as well, and something like a business group on health, where a group of companies are together and they're looking to purchase higher value healthcare locally, would be a great option.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah. So that is really great, right? So what else can we talk about as far as the summit is concerned? What are the bigger picture items in terms of where can this lead to?
Well, honestly, I'm hoping this is not a one and done event. I am really hoping that this ignites a fire under our independent physicians who are currently members and who are going to become members to be able to join together, collaborate, network together, rub shoulders, and form a community that is supportive with each other. And that can only cause benefit to, of course, themselves, but our patients, our community, our Pennsylvanians that we so strongly want to support. So I don't feel like this is a one and done. I'm excited to see where it's going to lead us in the future, but I'm hoping this is one of many events.
Many. Right, exactly. So the other part, which I also want to focus on, is bringing in our resident and fellow section members and even medical student members. Right. So I think this would be an interesting sort of a once in a career type of, or once in a residency type of event for these young physicians or physicians to be.
Yes.
What do you think about that? Right. So
I think that's a great idea. I think the more you learn, the more you know, right? Like,
correct.
If you're not exposed to it, you don't know what it's truly like. So I think this is an opportunity that's a no pressure. It's a way for medical students to see how independent physicians work, what that's like. And I feel like it can only benefit, enhance their decisions as they continue through their career.
Right. And also understand how the physicians in practice are also learning while they're still practicing, because these are new concepts that they will be exposed to, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And finally, the Care Centered Collaborative, the CCC, which is a subsidiary of the Pennsylvania Medical Society. So I have always envisioned the CCC to also be our sort of, how do I say, guiding group that can help us in this regard. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely, they are fully going to be involved in this summit. The PA Clinical Network that exists now is a resource that is huge that I don't know if many independent physicians know this is available. This is something that can help them, meet those quality measures, meet those goals that they feel so pressured to do in a way that's bite-sized, that's manageable, and they don't feel alone. So they are going to, PA Clinical Network will be fully involved in this summit, spending time, talking about the resources that are available to physicians in Pennsylvania.
Right. And further, we would also talk about direct contracting and other resources that might be available.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on direct contracting?
Yes. We do have a company who is looking to come to the event. We have not heard word yet. If they have confirmed, they were very excited to get the information. So I'm super hopeful that they will be able to attend.
Yeah, that's great. I'm sure there are other companies too who are willing and able to work with us. So,
yes.
So I think we are still in the sort of initial phases of planning.
Yes.
And we have a few months ahead of us, and we can certainly work towards making this a truly valuable day of networking and interacting and learning together.
Agreed.
Right?
Yes.
So yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Anything else you would like to add?
So the only thing I would like to add with that is currently on your presidential initiative landing page, there is a save the date that's available. So if we have physicians who are listening, who are interested, please make sure you save that date. Registration is looking to open up probably the end of March. The reason why we're waiting for that is because I want to get a nice definitive list of businesses who are going to be available, so you know what you're going to expect. So I want to have an agenda available for you before you register. And that's going to become available, I'm hoping, by the end of March. So watch Dr. Cavale's presidential landing page for more information, and make sure you get your spot to this once in a lifetime summit.
Or
hopefully not once in a lifetime. Yeah, first in a lifetime.
First in a lifetime. So that's what we hope to, right? Is
Right.
that this becomes sort of the stepping stone towards an how do I say, an alternative model of not only delivering healthcare, I would say deriving joy from delivering good care. Right? That's the physician part, right? So
yes.
and for the patients and community is to say, if you are spending money, you might as well obtain the most optimal or the best value care from physicians in your own community. So it's a local community effort. The economic activity stays within the community, and it allows physicians to really go back to being physicians without second guessing themselves.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So I think that's really a remarkable turn of events in the last few weeks that we've been able to get things done. Right.
Yes. Imagine what the next half of the year is going to be like.
Right. Yeah. Do we want to slow this down? Is the question.
I know, right?
Yeah. We look like speed junkies here, right? So, I know. No. So this sort of has been my path for several years now. I've sort of in my own way done my own digging around and talking and research for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think if we can pull this off, I think PAMED would probably be the premier state society that is out there, kind of connecting businesses to physicians, connecting communities to physicians, and vice versa, connecting physicians to communities, which is really awesome. And I really appreciate you, walking us through all of this. I wouldn't be able to remember all the details.
That's why you have me.
Yeah, I know. I am really proud of the work you're doing, which is awesome. Yeah. So because we can think our minds very similarly, and I think because of your background, I think you understand where I'm coming from. I'm not sort of, looking at the pie in the sky. This is actually ground reality. And we just, because we have been sort of stuck in a legacy thought process for a long time. We haven't been able to actually expand our thinking beyond what we have been told for the longest time, right?
Right.
So, and honestly, I always tell people is what we may never see, at least in my lifetime, what we are attempting to achieve, the full outcome of what we are trying to achieve. But it's really for the next generation of physicians, and honestly, for the patients, right? So we are all patients ultimately, and when we need care, we want to have care that is, accessible, high quality, reliable, affordable, and with a trusting relationship with our clinicians, and as Pennsylvania Medical Society knows that we promote a physician-led team-based care in all sorts of specialties and primary care. So I think this would go a long way towards that goal, right? So if there is a message that you want to leave independent practice physicians with, what would you tell them?
Oh, this is good. So I think I would say that, both of these projects that we're working on, these are not quick fixes, right? We know healthcare is broken, right? It's not just Pennsylvania, it's across the country. And these are not quick fixes to the issues that we're having. Instead, this is a long-term race that we're going to be running in hopes that, like you had mentioned, generations to come is going to be able to benefit from these steps that we're taking. So I have to say my hat goes off to you to not look for something that is going to be immediate gratification and this immediate fix that may fizzle out once you leave your presidential seat. This is something that's going to continue, and it can only get better. Is my thought process.
Yeah. My message would be get involved and be the change that you would like to see outside, right? So I think as physicians, we are probably in the best position to effect the change. And the system is the system, and I believe it's functioning the way it was designed. And unfortunately, it has also been hijacked to a certain extent by sort of vested interests that honestly we don't need to tackle at this point. But what we want to do is, we want to find our niche. We want to find an alternative pathway where we can really truly be patient advocates. We don't have to fear for our jobs or fear for our contracts because we did the right thing for the patients. And that's all in my practice. That's always been our driving force is we'll do whatever is necessary for our patients to get the best care they can get and the best outcomes they can achieve. And if that means, talking to people, going to court, writing letters, writing emails, we have done everything. So if a small practice like ours can do it, I think the Pennsylvania Medical Society can have a huge impact at a statewide level. And honestly, it's a training, it's a learning, and it's a learning and a training exercise, right? So what we learn as a society, we can train other societies. We can teach that to other societies to say, hey, we can work on this, and that's really the key message for me is for the physicians, especially the independent physicians. Get involved, get your hands dirty, learn the tricks that work in our environment, right? So don't be afraid to speak up or be the advocates for your patients, right? So, and that's really what will get you a good business model as well, because people will come to you because they know they trust you and they know that you will do what's necessary or not do what's not necessary as well.
Right. Agree.
Right. So it goes both ways. Yeah. So I really appreciate you joining me today, Amy, and all the work that you and your team have done so far.
Always a pleasure.
I think there is a lot more work to be done, and I'm always available if needed, and without bombarding you with too much information. Right?
No, it's been great. I've had my eyes open to a lot of different models out there. So everything you have, send it my way. I'm willing to learn.
Yeah. So So keep an eye out. So, this is a message to the membership and whoever's watching us. Keep an eye out for PAMED Communications for updates on the summit on June 19th. And for more information on the Independence Docs PA website, I guess you can follow that on my initiative landing page.
Yes.
And I appreciate all of those who joined us.